Now, I know you have needs, and I understand how urgently some financial needs in your life need to be attended to. But you have to realize that as important as money is, your career shouldn't be fueled by a need to generate wealth. Before money comes, there are certain phases of your career that need to be covered, and that's what's coming up. Hey, I'm Akurios, and thanks for joining me on this episode of Music Business Monday. And this is episode 17, and we're talking about something very, very sensitive, something that is very important. Today, I'll be sharing with you the 4 different phases of a musician's career, an artist's career, a music producer's career. Every single player in the music industry has 4 main phases in their careers. And we're going to be looking into these 4 phases and why it's important to do the things that you need to do in each phase. If you're seeing me for the first time, I'm Akurios. I'm a musician, a music producer, audio engineer, a voice coach, music educator, and entrepreneur. And I'm here to help musicians find the courage to pursue a music career and earn a living in the process while improving their skills and talents. So if you're interested in that, feel free to subscribe to the channel, tap the subscribe button, and make sure you indicate that you want notifications all the time by tapping that notification bell. So I recommend that in the early phases of your music career, it's important that you don't make money the focus. It's important that you're not in a hurry to generate money from the skills that you have. You first of all have to establish whether or not you have skills in the first place, and then you build these skills and begin to build relationships that will help you create a space for these skills to find expression in the music industry. And that does not necessarily mean that it's time to make money from those skills. In the past couple of weeks, I've been getting feedback from some of the recent videos on Music Business Monday, and people have been reaching out to me and telling me how good they are as musicians, how passionate they are, and how they really need to build a career in music. And I realized that they're just starting out. They don't even know exactly where to go, how to begin, or even if what they have is viable in the music industry. And these are the first things you need to determine before you even think about making money. So this video is going to explain to you properly that, first of all, money is not the first thing you need to be thinking about. The first thing you need to be thinking about is creating value, determining what product or what service you're going to be providing to the music industry and to music consumers. That's the first thing you need to be thinking about. And I'm also going to be breaking down the 4 phases of a musician's career to you. Now let's head over to phase number 1, which is the preparation phase. This phase of a musician's career focuses on learning and development of your skills. Whatever you intend to do, whatever kind of service you intend to provide in the music industry, even whether as a music producer, as an artist, as a music promoter, as a music marketer, an artist agent, whatever you want to do, this phase is the phase that you need to focus on learning the craft, focus on developing yourself and knowing exactly what it means to occupy that particular position in the music industry. In this phase, there's going to be a lot of free work, there's going to be a lot of volunteer work, so you have to prepare your mind to do work that you are going to learn from, to do work for the sole purpose of learning from the experience and forming relationships instead of gaining money. The good thing about free work is that it comes with free learning, it comes with free experiences, it comes with free access to resources that will help you do that work well. This phase is also the phase for building relationships. This is when you form valuable relationships and you meet with people who are relevant to your line of work in the industry. It's not the time to pressure people into giving you opportunities. It's the time to form lasting relationships and show people that you are credible. This is also the phase where you need to learn the business. You need to learn the business side of things. As you're acquiring your skill and building relationships and doing free work, volunteer work that will give you experience and all that, you also need to learn the business. Learn the business, not because you're trying to take advantage of circumstances to make money, but learn the business so that you are gathering information and theoretical knowledge that will help you when you eventually launch out. In this phase, you also have to take out time to study people who have done exactly what you're trying to do. Look, people have done what you're trying to do. There's nothing you want to do today that someone has not done before, except it's something totally out of this world. a new invention or something. But if it's a career, if it's a role in a particular industry, like the music industry, someone has been there before you. So identify these people, find them, seek them out, and learn from their mistakes, learn from their experiences, learn from these stories. This is something that has to be done deliberately, because you're trying to take notes and you're trying to know exactly how you need to take your first steps in the music industry, what you need to avoid and what you need to pay attention to, because these people are in the best position to help you with the first steps that you need to take in the music industry. So don't let money distract you from these valuable opportunities to learn. Allow experience from other people be your teacher. Now, this is also the phase where you need to set long-term goals based on the things you've learned from people who have gone ahead of you, based on the things you've learned from older colleagues in the industry, based on the things you've learned from the business side of things and how the business works. You now need to set goals. You now need to begin to plan, make plans, and begin to strategize based on the information that you're gathering, so that you have an idea of the things that you need to do at different stages of your music career. And as you set these goals, they are well-informed goals that are realistic, because they are based on information and things, knowledge that you've gathered from people who have experience, knowledge that you've gathered by interacting with people who know better than you do. So this is the phase to set long-term goals, to really plan out the trajectory of your career. The second phase of a music professional's career is the presentation phase. Now, this is the phase that focuses on announcing yourself and making your skills known to the entire world. Everywhere you go, everywhere you find yourself, and in whatever platform you find yourself, you announce who you are, what you do, and what you're capable of as a musician. Now, this phase focuses on announcing yourself. It's not yet about the money. It's about making known your skills and abilities to every single person you come across. Now, this phase comes with a mixture of paid and unpaid work. So you have to be willing to volunteer so you can still learn and make yourself known to the people that you're working with. And you also have the opportunity to earn money if the opportunity arises. But money is not the focus at this stage. The only reason why you're now able to make money from some of the work that you're going to do is because you have gone through phase one, which is the preparation phase. You have learned some things, so you're now beginning to try out your hand in doing work, and people are recognizing the fact that you actually have some skill, so they will offer to pay you. Don't make money the center of all things in this particular phase. Allow people to volunteer, to offer to pay you for your services. This phase is also the phase where you need to build your brand. Who are you? What's your name? What represents who you are best? This is the time to determine all those things, what you stand for, what you do, and the exact impression that you want to make to the general public. This is the phase in which you make all these things known. And this is the phase that you also need to build more lasting relationships, more valuable relationships in the music industry. It doesn't stop, because you're approaching that, you're now beginning to form that professional mindset. That's the approach you're now having towards your music career. You are a professional now, so you're seeing yourself as a professional, that this is my work, this is the work that I do, and you're forming relationships based on this. You're also deliberately laying the foundation for a lasting career in music. Now, you've made up your mind that this is what you want to do with your life. So you're laying the foundation in this phase for a lasting, a permanent, a career that you probably should be looking at being in for decades to come. You're probably going to grow old as a musician, so you are laying the foundation for this particular experience. It's something that takes a lot of planning, it's something that takes a lot of time, takes a lot of deliberate action, and so this is the phase that you need to do this in. This is also the phase where you need to build trust and credibility. You need to make people believe in you as a musician, as a record producer, as a mix engineer, as a mastering engineer. The most important thing, because trust is actually what makes people part with their money to be served by you one way or another. It's because they trust you. It's because they have come to a point where they are convinced that you're capable of delivering that particular service. That's why they're able to pay you for your work. If you haven't built credibility, if you haven't built trust, if you haven't convinced people based on your track record, based on your relationships with people, based on even the word of mouth accounts that people have of you, then they are not going to be willing to part with their money. There's nobody you're going to bump into today and the person will decide to give you all the money that you're asking for a particular service without having an impression of who you are, without having an idea, or perhaps maybe the faintest belief that you're able to deliver that particular service. This is the phase where you build trust and credibility. All right, the next phase of a music professional is the remuneration phase. Now, this is the phase where you now begin to attract reward, financial reward. People now begin to seek you out to pay you for the predetermined services that you have been offering, that you have shown yourself to be able to deliver. Now remember, in the first phase, the preparation phase, you spent time grounding yourself in the particular service that you want to offer in the music industry, whether as a musician, a music producer, an audio engineer, whatever. Now, and in the second phase, you spent time presenting yourself to every single person who had the time to give you attention, and you made everybody know that you are capable of delivering this service. And you built trust and built credibility because you had done some work that money was not the focus. The focus was creating value. The focus was doing the work well. Now, in this third phase where you are now being rewarded for your services, the remuneration phase, this phase is the phase where people now know you. They now know that this guy, this girl, this lady can deliver this particular service. And we are willing to part with our money without any trouble whatsoever because we know that the service is going to be delivered. We know that this is the brand they stand for. This is who they are. This is what they can do. This is how they can respond to this situation. This is exactly how they can deliver this service, and we're willing to pay. So at this point, there's an effortless flow. You don't need to struggle. You don't need to start begging people to give you an opportunity, having done and gone through phase 1 and phase 2. Okay? The monies begin to flow. Now, this is the phase where earning a living now comes to the top of the list. This is where you now need to think about making money. You've earned the right to actually demand for rewards for the services that you provide. You've earned the right to be paid because you have learned a craft and built credibility. It's the phase where you now begin to leverage on the relationships that you've built in the past 2 phases to begin to make business happen. You now have the confidence to put yourself out there, to put your brand out there, and be seen as someone who is ready for business. You have now assumed the mentality of an entrepreneur. You have learned the business side. You have gone through phase 1 and phase 2, and you're in phase 3 now. You are ready to make money, and there's nothing wrong with it at this point. So the value that you've built and generated over the years now effortlessly begins to generate remuneration for you. Now, having said that, even though you have the right to make demands for payments for your services, even though you now have the freedom to generate wealth and to generate money and focus on money as a business person in this remuneration phase, it's important that you realize that it's still not all about money. It's funny, yes, but it's still not all about money. It will never at any point be all about the money. There are certain things that are more important than money, even in a business environment. And I talked about some of those things in last episode of Music Business Monday. Now you can go check out that video and watch it and learn a couple of things from that. So even in this remuneration phase, it's important that you're not driven by the need to make money, but the creation of value and your pedigree as a service provider still comes first. You still have the willingness and the professionalism to deliver excellence every single time. It's not just about taking money from people and, amassing wealth. In fact, the truth of the matter is that if you have successfully and properly gone through phase 1, the preparation phase, and done everything I mentioned, and gone through phase 2, the presentation phase, you will actually know that all that we're doing in this space called the music industry, and in any career space actually, is not centered around the need for money. Okay? So you're free to make all the money you want. You should make all the money you want and all the money you need, and you should have a passion, and you should actually be good at making money. But don't let money govern every single decision that you're going to make as a professional. The fourth phase of a music professional's career is the relaxation phase. Now, this is the phase where you don't need to work as hard as you worked before while you were much younger, because at this point, you're actually in your old age. You're an old man now, you're an old woman, okay? And you're not as young as you used to be. There's certain business moves, there's certain activities that you may not be able to get involved in at this time. But the good thing about it is that if you have properly gone through all the previous phases, the preparation phase, the presentation phase, and the remuneration phase, you will realize that you, at this point of your relaxation phase, you have established yourself to the point where your businesses, your financial interests, and all that you've done, the songs that you've released over the years, are beginning to, or at this point have actually started generating monies for you, because you've made investments in the music industry that have started working for you. Your royalties are flowing in effortlessly. Your businesses have generated a significant amount of credibility. So everything is on autopilot at this point. And the only way you're going to get to this relaxation phase of your music career is by properly and successfully going through the first three phases. So if you're starting out and you don't even know where to start, all you know is that you have a talent. You have identified that you're able to play a particular role in the music industry, and you're willing to pursue a career in music. Now, the first thing you need to do is to keep preparing, keep learning new things, find ways to volunteer so that you can learn. Don't place money at the top of the list yet. The time for that, the remuneration phase, is coming. And look, it's like this. A time will come where it'll be so easy for you to make money from your craft that you would forget that there was a time that it was so difficult to make money. And I'm telling you the truth. This is exactly the truth. So don't envy anybody. Don't struggle to be like anyone who is generating funds from their talent right now, because you don't know their story. You probably don't know when they went through the preparation phase and the presentation phase, so you can't judge them for being at the phase of their music career that they actually deserve to be at. All you need to do is make sure that you are learning your craft and you build credibility. That's the key word, credibility. You have to be able to convince people that you are worthy of their money. Before you think about making money, before you think about if you're entitled to it or not, you have to ask yourself if what you have to offer is worth paying for. So take these things to heart. There are four phases of the music professional's career: the preparation phase, the presentation phase, the remuneration phase, and the relaxation phase. Now, these four phases, you can actually go through every single one of them successfully. I have studied the lives of very successful musicians and music industry practitioners, and I've been able to draw this conclusion. I've been able to come up with these four phases that I identified in their lives, and that's why I'm telling you this thing right now. So pay attention to them and understand the roles that you need to play in each phase and what you need to focus on at each point of your music career. Feel free to get back to me, drop your comments, and let me know what you think about what I've just said. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask in the comment section on Facebook, via my social media, everywhere, and I'll be elated. I will be elated to actually get back to you on them as usual. And remember to tap the like button, just give me a thumbs up down there, and that would be cool. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please go ahead and do that and tap the notification bell so that you're notified every single time there's new content on this channel. So till next time when we see, I'm Akurios, and I'll see you next time.